buddies? So another technical video, the series continues. So I have been asked this a million times, that is, Vikas, should I fill air or should I fill nitrogen in my tires? Alright, so there are quite a few myths about it, but I'll not go into myth breakers, but I will let you know simple pointers. Number one, if there is an opportunity to fill nitrogen, please fill only nitrogen. Do not fill air. Why? Why am I saying this? Because remember, let us get to the most important point. That is, when you fill air into your tires, alright, we need to top them up at least once in about 20 odd days. Why? Why is that? I'll let you know. But if you fill nitrogen, your air pressure can be intact for well over 2 months also. Okay? Now, how is that possible? Because when we fill air is a mixture of many gases, correct? Of course, it would be almost 70% nitrogen, but it's a mixture of many gases. Now, the molecules of that air are much smaller than the molecules of dedicated nitrogen which would be filled into your tires. So with smaller molecules, what we generally think, now my tire doesn't have a puncture anywhere, the valve stem is fine, but how does the air go down? What do you think? You know, can you believe this, that the air actually slowly leaks out through the tire? I mean actually through this tire, the rubber. Okay, because the molecules are much smaller of air compared to nitrogen, the air slowly starts to leak, and that is why after a month you see the air pressure dropping. So if you are someone who likes to have your air pressure intact, and if you don't like to make repeated visits to the fuel station or top up your air pressure, then I recommend that fill nitrogen, because nitrogen molecules are much bigger. So that way the passage of nitrogen through the tire would be much lesser and pressure would be intact for much longer. Now, when we are filling air, remember, we are even sending in moisture, okay, along with the general compressed air. And not just moisture, also remember, air would have oxygen in it. Okay, so with oxygen, what can happen is that it can corrode your rims. Yes. Now this is an alloy rim. Okay. Now imagine if my rim would have been a steel rim. In that case, moisture and air together can corrode, can form rust onto the inner part of my motorcycle rim. But if you fill dedicated nitrogen, that would not happen. I mean, it would prevent corrosion from forming onto the motorcycle rim. Third, now if you are someone who likes to do fast rides, and especially during summertime, there is a big issue again. Now, air, if for example I have filled 30 psi, okay, inside this tire, and on a summer afternoon when it's already 40 to 43 degrees Celsius and the surface is boiling hot, if I take my motorcycle out for a ride and go for a fast ride, the temperature of the air inside increases rapidly, and with the temperature, the 30 psi that was there inside would bump up to 32, 33, 34, I don't know how many psi. So that would cause your tire to become too stiff, your suspension settings would go for a toss, and also it would put pressure onto your valve and valve stem, because the air pressure would increase with temperature. That is if you're filling in regular compressed air. But if you fill in nitrogen, nitrogen would not react so easily with temperature changes. So that is where if you fill 30 psi, it will probably remain 30 psi only, even under extremely hot situations. And there is a general huge myth, that is, people say, I would like to fill nitrogen, but the nitrogen which is supplied by a fuel station, it is pretty far away from my home. So now if I fill nitrogen in both my tires, and after 2 months, if I have to top it up and I'm somewhere out on the road, and if I don't fill nitrogen, then what will I do? How can I fill regular air inside? You know, many people have been told that if you have nitrogen in your tires and if you have to fill regular air, then you have to first deflate the whole nitrogen and then fill in regular air. That is crap. No, because as I already mentioned, regular air is about 70% nitrogen, correct? So if I have filled 30 psi in my rear tire and 25 psi in my front, it's been 2.5 months. I am planning to go on a long ride and the fuel station is too far. If I wish to top up the air in my tires, I can go to a regular fuel station and fill in and top up regular compressed air along with nitrogen already inside. It is absolutely fine. Okay, so these are the main primary points, and that's it, friends. If you have any questions, let me know, and if you're not subscribed to me, you're missing out on close to 570 videos. I'm also there on Facebook and Instagram. The links are in the description of this video. Bye bye. Bye bye.